Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering the Ghostmaker. He made his first appearance in Batman Volume 3, issue number 100, that was released in December of 2020. His real name is Minhkhoa Khan, also known as Koa, and sometimes going by the aliases of Anton and Casper, being a secretive vigilante antihero that has brown eyes and brown hair, with there being no more than 5 individuals on Earth that have ever seen his face and know his true identity. Of course, Batman Bruce Wayne being one of them. Now, due to Ghostmaker's extensive training, intellect, and psychopathy, he has various skills and abilities. To start with, he has peak human durability, reflexes, speed and agility, as well as stamina and senses, being able to efficiently fight while being completely blindfolded. And this is even against figures such as Batman, whom he's battled many times over the years, one-on-one. It's also worth mentioning that Koa has trained with many of Batman's mentors over the years. So despite him being not quite as physically strong as Bruce, he's pretty much on the same level. This being said, the Ghostmaker also has his own transportation and various equipment, similar to Batman. Although it must be noted that his Ghost Racer automobile doesn't quite have the performance levels of the Batmobile. The Ghostmaker is also known to have a very advanced suit that he wears, which is equipped with what's called a Ghost Net, which is his own private network which gives him access to pretty much anything he wants, especially since he's also a very skilled hacker. Not to mention his own personal artificial intelligence program, which he calls Icon. This helps assist him in many of his activities. To go on, Ghostmaker is a master acrobat, archer, interrogator, firearms expert, investigator, tactician, stealth artist, tracking artist, escapologist, disguise artist, martial artist, and swordsman, with his preferred weapons of choice being dual katana-like swords. The only thing about Koa that could be seen as a weakness is that he was diagnosed with psychopathy at the age of 8 years old, which largely prevents him from feeling empathy or fear though, despite him occasionally expressing slight sympathy and anger. Now, Minhkhoa Khan, aka Ghostmaker, is a very complex and morally ambiguous figure in the DC universe. He's a highly skilled vigilante with a dark past that's driven by a warped sense of justice and a thirst for revenge. Born into a wealthy Singaporean family, although his life took a tragic turn at a young age, his family was always plagued by the ruthless Midas crime family, and this would eventually lead them to be forced to give their business and livelihood to this Midas family, which left a lasting scar on the young, remember, psychopathic Koa. And his seeking out his form of twisted justice would lead him on a journey to become the Ghostmaker. This journey would lead his life to be intertwined with that of Bruce Wayne. The two would train under many of the same mentors around the world, and a tepid friendship would blossom between the two, despite their approaches to crime fighting differing. And while Bruce was driven by a sense of loss and the desire to protect others, Koa saw crime fighting as more of an art form, being devoid of real emotion. And this fundamental difference led to a bitter falling out between the two, with Koa viewing Bruce's emotion as a weakness. From here, the Ghostmaker would carve out a brutal path of destruction across Southeast Asia, with him systematically dismantling crime organizations and leaving a trail of bodies in his wake. His methods were brutal yet efficient, being fueled by a desire to eradicate criminality with a cold, calculating hand. After some years would go by, despite his ruthless nature, Koa would take in a young boy that was orphaned by criminals that he himself took out, namely Mr. and Mrs. Menace. He would take in their child and would train him to become Phantom 1, which was a perfect crime-fighting partner for him, similar to Robin. However, he would train Phantom 1 to be devoid of emotional vulnerabilities, like he saw in Bruce. This relentless training would eventually backfire, and the boy would feel trapped and resentful, which led to a tragic confrontation with the villain named Palladium. And due to Phantom 1's reckless behavior in this encounter, the Ghostmaker would be faced with a choice between saving his protege and innocent civilians, not to mention the villain themselves getting away. So at that moment, the Ghostmaker would choose to save the civilians and would leave his protege, Phantom 1, to seemingly die. Subsequent to this, we'd see him confront Bruce in his handling of Gotham City's criminal underworld, with Ghostmaker breaking a long-standing pact between the two to not tread on each other's grounds. He would initially clash with Batman behind a new vigilante called Clown Hunter, who is a teenager driven to revenge for his parents' murder by the Joker. This encounter would force Bruce to confront his own methods and the potential for rehabilitation, while highlighting the stark contrast between his and Ghostmaker's approaches. Yet, despite their differences, the Ghostmaker and Batman would eventually find themselves working together against threats like the Unsanity Collective and the Magistrate. This loose alliance would lead the Ghostmaker to train Clown Hunter, while questioning his own rigid views, while witnessing the potential for positive change through empathy. And this came to a crescendo when Batman actually felt that Gotham had become too chaotic for he alone, and Bats would entrust Ghostmaker with leading a reformed Batman Incorporated. However, this decision would cause some friction within the team, especially given Ghostmaker's ruthless methods. Despite this, his first mission would see him dismantling Lex Luthor's experimental crime-fighting programs, showcasing his efficiency and strategic mind. However, in a brewing global conflict, the Ghostmaker would find himself embroiled in the war between Talia al Ghul and Deathstroke. During this war, he would face off against a former lover named Angelbreaker, and would surprisingly choose in the end of this conflict to protect his team and evacuate when the battle turned too destructive. So with it all said and done, the Ghostmaker's character arc is one of a constant tension. He remains a powerful and skilled vigilante, yet his typically ruthless methods and lack of empathy make him a morally ambiguous figure. His uneasy alliance with Batman and his role in Batman Incorporated do hint at a possible evolution, but whether he can truly embrace a more compassionate approach to justice remains to be seen. Now, for his abilities and his influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give the Ghostmaker, aka Minhkhoa Khan, a rating of 5, which is an enigmatic rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.